All right. Hello there, everybody. It is time for the end of day report with yours truly, Dex, the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan. Sorry I'm coming to you late, but I had some things I had to do. Better late than never. There's so much on my plate right now. My goodness. Okay, so first and foremost, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and hook me up. Smash that like button real quick. All right, let's get that out the way. Smash the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. You can hit the little bell icon to be kept abreast of all new content as soon as it is uploaded to YouTube. Also, don't forget to go to the website, pulsewavetrading.com. You can sign up for a free account. All right, and we do have some free giveaways for when you sign up with a free account. Also, we're running a special right now for 2020. It's our 2020 special called the Six Pack, the Action Pack. You can come and start trading with us for as low as $69 a month. All right, you need to do it right away before the opportunity is gone. All right, I told you this morning they're coming for your jobs. They want your jobs. They want everyone dependent on the government. All right. You need to have another income stream. All right. Because jobs are going to be a thing of the past for a lot of people. Okay. So without further ado, let's get into this. All right. Let's do this. Give me a second. All right. There's a lot going on. There's so many good, juicy news articles, man, from a wide variety of sources. And I just don't have the time and the day to get to them all. So I was thinking, do we need to just do a live during the trading day? And it'll go and it'll last as long as it lasts until we can knock out like every report that I think we should talk about? Or would you rather me just to record them separate? So like I'll do one story with one video, I'll record it and then upload it and just do it like that. You guys let me know in the comments. Let me know, would you rather do it live and we just knock out a bunch of them per live, or would you rather me do a separate video for each one of the items that I need to discuss? So y'all let me know. You can vote in the thing. All right, so today was a bullish day on Wall Street, as you all know. And the question is now, where do we go from here? That's always the question. Okay, yeah, I saw the rally, but where do we go from here? Well, first things first, I did a video, I think it was back on December the 19th of 2019. One of the guys in the trading room brought it to my attention because a lot of times I'll say things and I'll get on a run because nothing's scripted here. I do everything off the dome. I come around the dome. And it reminded me of what I was saying on some of my analysis that I did at the time on Bitcoin. I was the only one that was saying that Bitcoin had the potential to hit 4,000 and maybe even 3,000. And people were laughing at me like they always do whenever I make these prognostications. He brought it up to my attention today and said, not only did Bitcoin do exactly what you said it was going to do, but then it started behaving like you said it was going to behave. And that's how we knew that the bottom would be in. And so I was like, wow, yeah, I forgot all about that. I guess you're right. I guess I did say that. So with that being said, man, if you guys don't know what video I'm talking about, it is still up on the channel. We don't take down videos. I don't do that. I like to keep all my videos up because I forget a lot of things. Like right after the video is done, I'm done. I'm done with it. I don't think about it after that. I do the videos and then I keep it pushing because I got so much to do. Maintaining these pulse waves is a full-time job because I have to make sure everything is on and cracking and moving on time at the speed of light. So that's where most of my time goes. I don't spend time thinking about too much. So anyway, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, just go peep the thing, the video. I said the thing, and if you want that analysis from back in the day, because I totally forgot most of the stuff that I said on there, but I know you guys didn't, so you can peep that, and then you can let me know what you think. Every video I've ever done on the markets is still up on the channel. I don't erase things. I don't delete stuff. That's not how I'm built. I like to keep all my stuff up because you just never know, who something may help or whatever, you know. So I just like to leave things in memorial. Good, the bad, the happy, the sad, don't matter. Win, lose, draw. It doesn't make me any difference. I just want to provide you guys the most detailed information that I can at the time so that we can keep it pushing. Because at the end of the day, it's about making these monies in these markets, right? Excuse me. All right. So with that being said, we're going to talk about Bitcoin today. We're going to talk about oil today. Those are very, really, really big ones. Okay, I was wrong. It was not December the 19th. It was December the 20th. December 20th. That's what it was. All right. So for those of you that want to see that Bitcoin analysis from December the 20th of 2019, it is there for you. I just posted the link in the live stream where I go into depth with the analysis on the Bitcoin. All right. Excuse me. So let's pull that up and let's get right into it. Let me share my screen with you. All right, so someone's gave a vote for one at a time. All right, so one at a time. Okay. Yeah, I saw your comment there, Kevin. I see it. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into all of that. We're gonna get into all of that. Actually, real quick, first, someone shared this in the trading room. Um, let me pull this up because I thought this was really interesting. So hold on one second. Let me pull it up. I really like sharing things with you guys when it comes to my attention. When people share things with me, I like to share it with you guys because you never know sometimes. So let's take a look. All right, here we go. I thought this was interesting. Here you go. Share the screen here. Have you guys seen this, and what do you think about it? This right here this is some stuff right here, man. This is some stuff right here. I don't know what to make of this. All right. And it says, calculate the letters according to the order they appear in the alphabet. You get 66. Can this be the mark of the beast? And they have the corona on the left-hand side and the corresponding numbers, the 3, the 15, the 18, the 15, the 14, and the 1. The corona is 6. And then the digits that they occur is 66. Is COVID-19 the mark of the beast? That's some sick stuff right there. Seriously. I've been doing research into that. So it's funny that someone beat me to it. I was looking at that myself. Okay. I don't believe that the COVID, the disease, the bioweapon is not the mark of the beast. The bioweapon, I believe, is being used to roll out the technology of the mark of the beast. When it first rolls out, it's not going to be the mark of the beast. It's not even going to be mandatory. All right. The mark of the beast is twofold. The mark of the beast has a spiritual component as well as a physical component. The spiritual component is, in my opinion, a lot more important and has immediate consequence than the physical mark of the beast. For those that don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so because man is born in sin and shaped in iniquity, everyone has you're born, all right, into the mark of the beast already. You have the mark of the beast, just like Jesus taught to the Pharisees. He said, "You are of your father, the devil." All right, and you do what he do. He was a liar from the beginning, and you are doing the same thing, spreading your false doctrines and false beliefs, and you're causing your new converts to become twice the individual of hell as you are. That's what he said to him. So therefore, you're born with the mark of the beast already, which is the sinful nature. So everyone has that. You're born into that because we are sons and daughters of Adam. So the spiritual component of the mark of the beast is already there. It's either you're born again through Christ Jesus or you're not. Either you're a child of the king or you're a child of the beast. There is no in between. Okay? So according to that, that's to be more worrisome. The spiritual mark of the beast is more worrisome than the physical mark. The majority of us probably will not be alive when the physical mark becomes a reality. We won't be here. So the one that's more pressing is the spiritual mark of the beast that you were born into. It is more important to get right with Jesus Christ now, today, tonight, than to worry about the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is not going to be forced upon anyone. All right. It's not like, oh, you're going to take this. Come here. Hurry up. Mark them real quick. No. The mark of the beast has to be voluntary. It's going to be voluntary. All right. And it comes with a spiritual component as well. Because in taking the mark of the beast, when that day and time comes, you're going to also have to deny Christ and deny everything that comes with that. All right. So that's why the mark of the beast is a whole different issue. It's not going to be forced upon anyone. It's going to be a choice. You're going to make an actual choice. When it comes to serving the devil, those who practice Satanism, things of that nature, they go into covenant with the evil one. They go into covenant with demons. Those that practice in that field, they go into covenant with them. Same thing with the mark of the beast. The devil wants you to go into a covenant with him. He wants you to sell your soul to him. He wants you to bow down and serve him. All right. So that is what it is. It must be voluntary. It's not the mark of the beast if it's not voluntary. If people are kicking down your door at 4 a.m. with M16s and saying and grabbing you by your hand and stamping the mark of the beast on you and stamping on your forehead, that doesn't count because you did not voluntarily do that. That was forced upon you physically. It's not the same. The devil wants worship. He wants to be like God, but he wants you to want him to be your God, not forced upon you. See what I'm saying? You're not going to be tricked into it or forced into it. It's something that you yourself are going to want to do, and you know exactly what it entails when you do it, and you don't care. See what I'm saying? Like people right now who sell their souls in the entertainment field. If you want to get into that in crowd, that whole, the boule, the whole Illuminati entertainment section, that is a physical thing that you have to do. You have to decide, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to get down with that. Those of you who have been to university, did the secret societies force you to join them? Last I checked, the Q dogs didn't force nobody to become a Q dog. To become a Q dog or an AKA, that is a choice that you're making, and then you agree to go through the process of becoming a member, a new convert of said organization. It's not forced on you. Again, no one kicks down your door at 4 a.m. with an assault rifle saying, you are going to join this organization. You're going to do it now. It doesn't go like that. Now, if it does go down like that, once again, you still have a choice. You can say no, and then you lose your life. They shoot you in the head. Or you say, okay, fine, I'm going to be down with you. Again, it's a choice. There's no such thing as not having a choice. You have a choice. You get to choose one way or the other. So anyway, I thought this was interesting because I believe that this is going to lead to that. I believe that all the earmarkings are there for them to roll out everything digital. I was talking to one of my brothers earlier this evening, And he told me that Wells Fargo is no longer accepting cash from someone who doesn't have an account at their bank. So when you get to a point where banks are turning away money, now, of course, the excuse that's being used is, well, coronavirus. But see, then the other thing came out today. I was watching a doctor here on YouTube who was going into the chemical and medical aspects of the coronavirus disease. And in doing so, he proved that it was a weaponized virus and not something naturally occurring in nature. That it had to be tangled with, it had to be messed with. The genetic code of it had to be messed with. And he demonstrated that live on his YouTube channel. All right. So again, I was the first person to come out and say it was weaponized. No one else wanted to say that. I broke it down and said, yes, it is. And I told you what to look for. I said, if you see this thing start to evolve, you start hearing them, if it starts off not killing nobody and it's just a disease, but then, some weeks later now, it's mutated. Oh, people are dying out of nowhere. I said, that's how you know that this is a man-made situation. It's weaponized. It's being released on the people as a culling mechanism. All right. Plain and simple. All right. So you're starting to see that. When it first was being reported, it wasn't nothing going on. Now all of a sudden the deaths are just multiplying. Oh my goodness! Oh, look, the entire country of Italy is just diseased up. Oh, America's going to be the worst. How is it America's the worst and we don't have the largest population on the planet? China and India have the largest populations on the planet. So if this was the Black Death that they're trying to purport it to be, how come half of those countries aren't gone? How come how come we're not down to 500 million in India? We're still at 1 billion. How come we're not at 500 million in China? We're still at 1 billion. See what I'm saying? If it was really all of that, those two countries who have the most population in the world should be halved right now, should be cut in half. But we're not seeing that. So how are they going to say, oh, the United States has more cases than any other place? How is that possible if America is, quote unquote, the superpower, if the US dollar is the, quote unquote, global reserve currency, if the United States is, quote unquote, like the richest country in human history, all right, how is it that we are going to be the one that's the most affected on the planet? Unless it was planned to be that way. Because like I told you, they got to bring down the US first so they can bring in this whole new order. They got to remove the US off the playing field. They got to tag them out. Okay? So, and again, it came out of nowhere at the opportune time to settle a lot of things around the world that were happening. You see what I'm saying? So, a lot more can be said about this, but I just thought this was interesting. I want to bring it up to you guys' attention because when it was posted, I was like, oh, the people need to see this. This is interesting. So that's that. All right, now let's get into the other stuff, which is these charts. All right, as you know, today we rallied on Wall Street. Okay. I am not convinced. I am not convinced at all. I don't care what happened today on the Wall Street. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters at the end of the day is price. Price matters. Not politics, not anything else. Price. Price and supply and demand. The person with the biggest computer is the one that can push the markets around. And what I mean by biggest computer, the one that has the largest trading account, that has a bottomless wallet, they can go in and they can push markets around and just for the heck of it say, I'm gonna spend $1 billion today on buying, let's say, Apple. Let's say it's only 200 million shares outstanding. I'm gonna buy all 200 million of them up real quick, and then I'm gonna dump them just for fun. That's the only way you're gonna see that kind of stuff. Okay. Now, at the end of the day, on the back end of all of this, I've already told you what's going to happen. Bitcoin is preparing to go through the roof, along with those top altcoins I told you about. and it's going to take gold with it. It's still a question mark when and if silver is going to finally get up and go, but silver should rally with it because silver is still the poor man's cash, right? So I believe that we're going to see gold and silver take off like a rocket and take Bitcoin and some of the altcoins along with it for the ride. That's where the money's going to be. On the backside of this depression that we're about to see and witness, on the backside of this depression is going to be the final bull market. All right? It's going to be the final bull market. This final bull market is going to be so insane. And I can't stress to you enough when I say insane. It will make all previous market rallies look insignificant in comparison. This is where you're going to see the 100,000 Dow, maybe even a million Dow. This is where you're going to see maybe, $1 million Bitcoin, $10,000 gold. This is where you're going to see in this next bull market, it will be the last bull market. And it's going to take you all the way to the end. Excuse me. It is going to last for a very, very, very long time because it will be the last bull market. The last bull market. The time to back up the truck is almost at hand. It will be here sooner than you realize. And for those that miss it, they're going to miss it completely. This new bull market, the final bull market of our lifetime, is going to make it the first trillionaires on the planet. Not billionaires, but trillionaires. Because the staple of money is going to change. So we will have our first trillionaires literally walking around on the planet. All right? Now, you can laugh at me like people always like to do. I'm just telling you what thus saith the charts. You can call it a grand super cycle or a daddy, grand supersonic cycle, whatever you want to call it. Call it whatever you want. The last time I told you this was in 2011 and 2013. And look where it brought us. Had you bought the Dow in 2013 and held it until its peak, you would have been sitting really pretty. But most people don't do that because they don't believe nothing. But this next bull market on the back of this depression that we're experiencing right now, don't let anyone tell you otherwise, it is a global depression. But the worst hit will be the U.S. because the U.S. is on its way out. And I'm sorry to have to tell you that. The conditions in the U.S. are going to get very dire. Very, very, very bad. Very bad. Very, 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 very bad. Very bad. All right? Remember the starving kids in Africa? Remember those commercials from the 1970s? Those kids are going to look morbidly obese compared to how people are going to be looking here in the United States. Let that sink in for a minute. Those starving African kids that they showed you in the 1970s are going to look morbidly obese compared to the way people are going to be here in the United States. That's how poor the country is going to get. You mark my words, you heard it here today at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, March the 30th, 2020. You heard it here live. The situation is going to be absolutely horrific. It will come a time later on after that the U.S. will be a destination of extreme vacations where people will fly over it and look and say, this used to be the greatest country on earth, and look at it today. It's a wasteland. And I noticed how I told you, I said people were doing flyover extreme vacations. They will not be allowed to land in America. They'll be able to fly over it and take pictures and things like that, but they won't be allowed to land. And I want you to think about why they won't be allowed to land. You know why they won't be allowed to land? Because the last time I checked, people don't take vacations to Chernobyl. Why don't people take vacations to Chernobyl and say, I'm going to spend the summer in Chernobyl? Is it because the radiation is still off the chain? Well, that's exactly how the U.S. is going to be. Think about it. I told you what was going to happen to the U.S. I told you the U.S.'s end. The U.S.'s end is a multiplicity of perfect storms, all hitting back to back to back to back. The financial crises was just the tip of the iceberg. I told you that the only thing that could take out the USA was the God that it turned its back on, and that day was already here. America has been under divine judgment for a long time now, and it's been under the worst kind of divine judgment. One of the worst kinds of divine judgment is the judgment of abandonment, and that is when God abandons a nation. One of the saddest stories in the Bible was that of Samson, when he didn't even know that the Lord had left him after his hair got shaved. That's right. And the Philistines were able to capture him and gouge his eyes out and made him work in the mines. All right. So that's what the U.S. is right now. The U.S. has lost its strength and doesn't even realize it. The Lord has abandoned the country because the country has turned its back on God and has decided to serve other gods and idols. All right. The country has gone satanic, full-blown satanic. Do your research. Every nation in the history of the earth, of the history of civilization, every superpower went out the same way. And they only lasted an average of 200 years. The only exception was Rome. It lasted 500 years because it is special. It's special in antiquities and it's special in eschatology, which is the study of final things. And it will rise again. As a matter of fact, it's rising right now. Most people are oblivious to it. All right. The U.S. is on its way out, whether you want to like it or not. I'm just telling you what it is. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to even believe me. But let me ask you this. When I told you what was going to happen years ago, and now it's happening, remember, you didn't believe me then either. I got a lot of mean comments. They even said, don't have this idiot on your show anymore. Don't invite him back. He's an idiot. And now, where are those people now? The markets did everything I told you that they were going to do. And yet people still won't believe. They still don't want to listen. I told you what was going to happen to Bitcoin. I said, get out and take profit at 20,000 because it's going to drop and it's going to be enormous. And everyone laughed at me, said I didn't know anything about the crypto market and I should just leave the crypto market alone. That's what they said. What happened? Bitcoin 3,000. I tried to tell you. I warned you. When I first said the 6,000 handle was coming, 6,500 to 6,000. No way it'll get down there. It's never been down there. Okay, fine, whatever. And then it did it. Where are all the crypto prophets? Where are all the soothsayers of crypto? Where's the crypto millionaires? I mean, people had YouTube channels, the Bitcoin millionaire. Where are they at now? How come they're not advising you about the crypto market? How much money have you made with them on the way down? The number is 0. See what I'm saying? They come in, they fly by night, and then they're gone. I know. I realize what happened. I know it was a big void. I was gone for 4 years. I know. I know. Right around the time after Charlie passed away, it was a lot of us. We all went on hiatus. We were all going through some very difficult times, personal lives and stuff like that, and health and things like that. So it was rough, man. And then when I came back, I seen all these people. Everyone was an expert. Everyone was an analyst. Everyone was a trader. Just like now, everybody's a virologist. Everybody's an oncologist. Everyone's an epidemiologist. Everyone's an economist. Whenever things are a certain way, everyone's an expert. Everyone's a genius. But then when it's not that way anymore, where do those people go? They're not still here. I'm still here. They're not still here. So take a look at this Bitcoin chart. I've left it up here the whole time I was talking because I wanted you to look at it and study it. Are you noticing anything happening? Remember I told you about the range right here, top and bottom. The market's been behaving it. It came down here, tested the bottom. Now it's going up here, testing the top. All right. It's not breaking out. It's just moving within the range. It's a very large trading range that has been established here. All right. And until you break out of it or down below it, you're not trending. You're not going anywhere yet. All right. Just understand that. These actions can last a pretty long time. When you have these ginormous trading ranges established, markets can stay within them for a very long time. This is sort of like an artificial Kumo cloud of death, where the prices will continually test the top and bottom sides of it constantly until it builds up enough pressure, and then it finally breaks out or breaks down. That's what you see happening in the Bitcoin right now. Okay. So right now, the upper slope, the trend, the bias is to the upside, but don't get it twisted. As long as you're still in the artificial Kumo cloud trading range, prices are going to be all over the place within this trading range. You haven't broken out. You're not trending. Okay. And yes, this is a bearish pointer, and it is very concerning at this point. 3,500 is definitely looking to be in play with this bearish pointer. We'll see what happens. But make no mistake, this is not the time to back up the truck in your Bitcoin. This is a tradable market right now. You're going long and you're going short. That's it. All right. So I just want to throw that out there. It's not the time to do that yet. All right. The next chart I want to look at with you is going to be none other than, let's see, where is it? Here we go. It's time to talk about that oil. Oil has been in the news ad infinitum. All types of conversations are happening right now around the water cooler. All right. It's the virtual water cooler because the water cooler right now is unavailable because most people are at home and not allowed to go to work. All right. So remember what I told you about crude oil. I've been telling you this for years. I said crude oil is the most gangster market in the world. Okay. Now, so this is what it is. Okay. Are you ready? It's a gangster market. It's a political market. Crude oil never makes sense. The crude oil market never makes sense. It's not meant to. It's like the bond market. Bond futures, crude oil futures, they don't make sense. And the reason why is because of the government interference and meddling and manipulation. The Fed has been buying bonds now since the financial crisis. That's the only person in there propping up the bond futures, okay? Same thing with crude oil. Crude oil is the most political market in the world as well as the most gangster market in the world, okay? It's been used as a political football forever. Right now, they are lowering the price of this to break the back of the Saudi government and other players within OPEC. This is being done on purpose because certain industries, I'll say entities, they have their margins set at a certain oil price. As long as price per barrel remains above a certain price, they're still good. You could take it down to $20. They're like, hey, that's our cost. Hey, we're still making profit at $20. All right. For the longest time, remember I told you, crude oil was setting at $15 a barrel back in the 90s, man. You didn't hear anybody crying about crude oil then. It was $15 a barrel. So don't tell me, oh, this is going to destroy the economy because it's so cheap. No, shut up. You're lying. It wasn't destroying the economy in the go-go 90s when crude oil was $15 a barrel. I didn't hear nobody crying a foul. Nobody was crying. It was $15 a barrel for the longest time. It oscillated between $15 and $30 a barrel, and it stayed there, and it didn't go nowhere. The high end was 30, the low end was 15, and normally we stayed somewhere between 20, really, I say about 20, 25. It oscillated and really didn't do too much. So, and it did that for a decade. No one cried. No one said, this is such a strain. No, it was none of that. All right, but now that we're revisiting the 1990 crude oil levels, that's where we are. Just so you know, this is the 1990s price per barrel that crude oil was at. This $20 a barrel, yeah, this is we've gone back to 1990. We've rolled back the clock. We've traveled in time. People who say that time travel is not can't be done doesn't know what they're talking about, because we're doing it right now. We just traveled back to the 1990s crude oil price right now on this chart, right before your eyes. This is 1990s crude oil price. All right, this is what it is. All right, it hasn't been down this low in a minute. All right, now my chart I don't have all the data loaded on here, so I can't go back too far. But yeah, I think this only goes back to like 2002. But you can see here is the monthly chart going back to June 30, 2002. The low was $25.22 a barrel, and the high was $27 a barrel. Okay. All right. So from 2002, which is here, you see the slope started going up. Had a break here, but then we started going up. All of 2008 starts right here, 2008. That's when we went up, for that whole election, the whole summer, crude oil went up. And as soon as they knew that Obama was a shoo-in for office, look at this. This is July the 31st of 2008. Boom. By August 31st, 2008, the market had already broke, and they took it all the way back down. They left it up high like that to get the Republican out of the office. Once Obama was a shoo-in, boom, they let the price come all the way back down again, and it dropped all the way to $33.55 a barrel before going right back up again and trying to retest those highs. All right, just wanted to show you the way this is being played. Now look what we're doing so far. Again, it's a monthly chart. All right, so this is current. We have fallen from $48.67 a barrel down to $19.25 a barrel. You see the elongation of this bar. All right, this bar is phenomenal. All right, you're hard pressed to find another bar to look like this until you get back here in 2008. So, and don't forget, 2008 was the financial crisis. All right, by the time we hit here, we was in a financial crisis. All right, it really technically started in August. All right, that's when prices started changing on Wall Street. So for the whole 2008 crisis, the crude oil collapsed. They brought the price back down. All right, so that's how they play with prices and play with markets. The fact that the markets are manipulated means that you can make money hand over fist if you know what game they're playing and when they're playing it. Right now, they're still not happy. They want the price to go lower. They want to bring it to that $15 again. All right, right now we're lower than we were in 2008, technically speaking. All right. So let's see here. All right, my man Red says, hold it, Dex. I'm sure you made that Bitcoin call in 2018 when Bitcoin dropped to 3,100, but you did call this recent drop as well. Yeah, like I said, I don't always remember what I talk about. That's why I leave all my videos up. That way, you know, I use it like as a reference. That's my library, if you will, because there's no way in the world I'm going to remember every video I do. And I analyze hundreds and hundreds of securities. I can't possibly remember everything that I do or say at a given time. So that's why I keep the videos up. Okay. Spy Cam says, Dex, when does this BTC bull start? It starts when it starts. And that's really the truth. It starts when it starts. Right now, it's still in a bear market. You didn't see nothing bullish on that chart. We're still in a bear market. As far as I'm concerned, all we're doing is just drifting. We're not bullish. The trend has not changed. You'll know that we are, off to the races once the trend starts to shift, once the momentum starts to shift. Just like I said a few minutes ago when I had the chart up, I said right now, until price action makes its mind at what it wants to do, it's still going to trade within this very wide trading range. And it could stay that way for a long time. It doesn't have to break out now. There's really no time set on how long prices can move sideways. I've seen prices for certain things move sideways all summer for 3-4 months straight up. I'm not kidding. One of the most famous charts that come to mind was feeder cattle and live cattle. Forget the year. I don't know if it's the early 2000s. Had to been 2002 something. It was one of those. I watched the meat market move sideways all summer. And then right towards the end, out of nowhere, without warning, the thing just goes lock limit down. And it does it for several days straight. So when you're in a wide trading range, that is normal. That's normal activity. So we'll know when the time is right because the system will tell me, okay, you guys, it's time to go. We switched from bearish to bullish. And that hasn't happened yet. We're still very much bearish. You'll know it because, like, let's use this chart right here, this crude oil chart, for example. See the grizzly bear on the right-hand side, the bottom right-hand side of the screen? That's a red grizzly bear. It also says bearish right here. All right. And you can also visually see the price action and the trend lines are well below the Kumo cloud, which is a bear market. All right. So until you see something change, until this turns green and turns into a bull, and this turns into a bull, we're not a bull yet. We're still very much a bear. What's happening right now in this market is kind of similar to what's happening in Bitcoin. Every rally is being sold. Every rally is a selling spot. Until that stops happening, we're still there, man. But see, that's one of the beauties of the PulseWave price trigger system, is that it alerts you to these changing trends on an intraday basis. My people get reports every day that shows them where the momentum triggers are. Momentum triggers are intraday price inflection points that tell you what must be done in order for a trend change to officially take place. It tells you when a bull market's over, and it shows you when a bear market begins. It shows you when a bear market is over, and it shows you where a bull market begins. The momentum price trigger is a unique type of an indicator because it serves multi-purposes, but that's the number one purpose. It lets you know where the trend changes at, specifically at what price the trend changes. It doesn't just tell you, it doesn't tell you the when, it tells you the what and the where, which is more powerful than a when, because it's not about time. I don't know why people believe that false doctrine on Wall Street. Wall Street is guilty of preaching the most dangerous false doctrines of markets than anyone else. The number one thing they tell you is this time horizon nonsense. That stuff they made up so they can sell you guys mutual funds and 401ks. Time horizon is one of the stupidest ideas I've ever heard in my life. All right. Number one, you're banking. You probably have better odds at blackjack. I'm not kidding. Or maybe the roulette wheel. You're betting that by the time you are set to retire and start drawing from that money to live off of, that the market will have moved significantly in your favor during that 20-year time horizon, 10-year time horizon, 30-year time horizon. That's nonsense. That is absolute nonsense. You don't know. You don't know. That's since when do you just do something and say, I'm hoping and praying? That's what it's called. It's called hope and prayer. I'm taking a longer term approach. You can't tell me what's going to happen within the next 5 minutes. How do you know what's going to happen 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now? You can't even tell what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. You don't know the future. No one knows the future but God himself, and he doesn't share that with nobody. That's one of his godly attributes, which is called omniscience. He's omnipotent and omniscient. Not only all powerful, but he knows all things. He doesn't just know all things. He knows the what if, coulda, woulda, shoulda, the what if, all. He knows complete, perfect knowledge of those things. You and I, we don't. We have to put our money based on things that we know and we can calculate, and we do what is called managed risk. That's why it's important to take your profits as you get them along the way, so that when the tide changes, you can get out of the way. Most people don't trade short. They don't know how to short the market, which is fine. You can be a long only trader and still make really good income and beat the S&P. Yes, you can. Because you can take an all cash position. You say, look, I don't short the market in any kind of way. I just buy stocks, and then when they're in the bull market, and then when they're not in the bull market, I cash out and I wait for the next buying opportunity. That's fine. You can do that. But the buy and hold, so you bought a stock at $50 a share, it went up to $300 a share, then it crashed to $30 a share, and by the time you retire, it just now made it back up to $48 a share. How well did you do, sir, ma'am? That's awful. You missed the biggest run in the stock's history when it went from 50 to 300. You should have got out the way no later than 290 when it pulled back. See what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. You gotta learn to play the game the right way, not the way they want you to play the game. Because that's how they take your money and run with it. All right. Don't be their food no more. Learn how to do this the right way so that you can take their money. You want to drain the banks? You really want to, beat the Fed? You really want to beat them at their own game? Learn how to trade these markets. Learn how to use these pulse waves, and you'll know what time it is. You'll know what to do and how to do it. All right. All right. So oil is not ready yet. Oil is still a short, man. There's nothing bullish on this chart. Where do you see bull anything? Nothing. The only hope you have, the only glimmer of hope you have right here is this gap. You're hoping that once the technical bounce comes, it's going to this right here. And while we're on this, I need to bring this up too real quick. Much love to you too, my man Rick. I see that. Yep. Be safe out there, brother. All right, so they've been doing something with the 3X ETFs. They do this every time there's some sort of financial crises going on. They've done it before, they're doing it again. A lot of the 3X ETFs are being marched right on off the stage, never to come back. And then they're rebalancing some of the other ones and doing reverse splits and all this other stuff. Well, they've been doing it with the DIG, the DUG. They've been doing it with Nugget and Dust. They've been doing it with GDX, JDST, and JNUG. Just playing around, rebalancing, just really. And when they do it, it messes the whole thing up, because I don't know if you guys are privy to this or not, but what happens is when they do these price swap changes with these 3X ETFs and they reset the price, they create a historical price point as well. So it erases all the real prices that led up to that, all the historical prices, and they reallocate it with made up prices to match the reverse split or whatever they did to it and the rebalancing. So it totally tears everything up. It erases all the data. It just jams the market up, and sometimes it can take take a few days or even a few weeks to get the market back into alignment. So that's one of the reasons too why we got punched in the face. It wasn't by a lot, but we got punched in the face today with DUG. We took a loss on the DUG for that reason because um, the market was all over the place. It gapped down, fell lower, rallied, then went higher, then fell back down again and went lower again. It was just that is not normal, especially when crude oil, as you can see here on the futures. Look at this. This is the crude oil futures. It was down all day today. It was down. It finished red, folks. It was down. It was down. It closed down today. How is DUG closing in the red when crude oil is in the red? DUG is an inverse ETF that is supposed to rally when this energy sector is falling. Why isn't it working? It's because something is breaking down within the structure of the ETF itself. And I hate when they do that. But this is one of those rare things that only affects the 3X ETFs. It doesn't affect SPY or QQQ. It don't hurt the cubes. It don't hurt the diamonds. It only hurts the 3X ETFs. That's one of the reasons why I hate 3X ETFs. They don't track the market well. They're out of control. They do whatever they want to do, and they constantly rebalance these things and do reverse splits, which is just so foolish. I hate it. You don't ever hear them doing that with the SPY or the cubes or the diamonds. You don't, or the Russell or IWM. You don't ever hear them doing that. Ever, 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 ever. They don't even do it with the IYR, the real estate ticker. They don't do that with no other one times ETFs. They only do it with the 3X ETFs. Even GLD and SLV, they don't mess with it. They don't touch it. Only 3X ETFs have these issues. So that lets you know that there's something inherently wrong with the 3X ETFs. That's why I normally don't put 3X ETFs on my list. And I'm going to tell you that going forward from this day, I'm going to stay out until the rebalancing is done, until they fix whatever they done did to break it and it comes back into alignment. I'll still run them. They'll still be on the reports, but I'm not touching them because I don't trust them. Not after what they pulled today. Nowhere in the world that market should have been that volatile when crude oil itself was not volatile today at all. Look at this narrow range day. We oscillate between $21 and $19.25 a share. We have a $2 trading range. Really, no, let's be technical. What's that? $1.75. We had a $1.75 trading range. And you telling me out of that you get a $20 price swing in DUG? Man, come on. Stop it. Well, it's a three times a $1.75 is not a $20 trading range. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's not. Let me show you, because I know somebody like, oh, he don't know what he's talking about. Don't believe nothing. So let me just show you something. Like my man Fire Marshal Bill said, let me show you something. I'm gonna show you something real quick. Here we go. Now you've seen the $1.75 trading range on the crude oil, right? Look at this. The high was $111 and the low was $98. How do you get 20 out of a $1.75? A $1.75 times 3 is no greater than 5 points. Yet you got a 13-point trading range in this 3X ETF. And how is this 3X ETF going down? It's in a bear market along with the crude oil. It's the ultra short oil and gas ETF. How are you in a bear market? What are you talking about? You just saw the chart with the crude oil. I just showed it to you. All right. How is this happening? And the DIG, which is the long ETF for this, is they both red, man. What are you? They both bear markets with the oil. How broken are you? What in the? I can't trade a market like that. No one can trade a market like that. You broke it. Stop. Leave the markets alone, you guys. SEC, CFTC, whoever's, leave the markets alone. Stop playing and touching and jacking up the markets and making them untradeable. That is ridiculous. Seriously, I had no other problems in none of the regular ETFs that we trade, like the QQQ, none of that. SPY, no one's giving me those problems. Even the SJB, the SLD, the GLD, having the time of my life with those markets. But now you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna break everything that has to do with the oil market. See what I'm saying? That's that gangster mentality. They don't want nobody making money off of their foolishness. It's not my fault that you guys don't know what you're doing and you're trying to bring down the U.S. faster than it's supposed to. You trying to do things ahead of schedule. That's not my fault. That's not my fault at all. I don't have nothing to do with that. Last I checked, I don't make none of the laws. No one consulted me on anything before y'all did it. You just decide to do stuff and then you leave it at that. And that has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? But this is what they do when you play in their backyard. They get mad. All right, here you go. Now, this is the USO, United States Oil ETF. Now, it's moving lockstep with the crude oil futures like it's supposed to. No broken charts, no broken things, no bad ticks, none of that. It's moving in succession with the crude oil like it's supposed to. All right, see, boom, there you go. That's the USO. All right, here's the OIH. Tracks with the futures almost tick for tick. Look at that. Perfect. Why your DUG can't look like this? But inversely. Why it can't look like that? What's the problem, y'all? See what I'm saying? But that's all right. I got something for that because I already know what we're going to do. Keep watching. I got something for y'all. Check out tonight's report. You'll see what I'm talking about. All right, here's SLV. Silver is still really struggling, you guys. It's still struggling. Now, you got this nice technical bounce, but then it started falling apart again. All the rallies in the silver are being sold. I know you got gappage, but even still, it can't hold its rallies. It's going to have to hold its rallies. Now, you still got bullish bias because you got this weekly bullish trend momentum reading. You got that bias working for you right now. So it should be able to push through this. All right, your momentum shot up, but now it's starting to turn back down again. And we're gonna need to do better. We're gonna need to do something about that. We just have to, because the market right now is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Not at all. All right, but this is a weak cross too. We want to see, this thing cross above it and arc upward, but it's hard right now. So we got the beginning stages of a bull market trying to take place here. Got the ticking time bomb, but we got the beginning stages is when these two trend lines crossed. All right, so we're getting there. It just ain't got there yet. Okay, here's your SLV. Same thing as the silver futures. No different. Here's your NASDAQ 100. Still respecting the range. Like I told you, still respecting the range. It's trading within this one here, this configuration. Respecting the range. No breaking out. All right. The bias is to the upside right now. I don't know how much longer it's going to last with the overhead resistance around that 8,100. We can just watch and see, but I think this thing is going to be sold. I don't think we've really seen the lows yet. This is a nice basing form right here, the longer it goes, but who's to say that it's not going to be an incredible down leg? Remember, these bases are dual purposeful. They either break outward really powerful or break down really hard. All right, and there's that 2% chance at the time that it breaks to the downside. And those breaks can be absolutely mind-boggling. So I want to prepare y'all for that. Trade what you see, but just be ready to take profits in case you get a turn. Here's a GLD. The GLD is coming off of this primary rally alert, so I got involved up in here. Now, we did pull back on this bar here to fill the gap. All right, that does count as a gap filling. So the market is free to rally now. You got bullish trend momentum. You're in a bull market. You're in a bull market. All it has to do is pump higher. So I'm holding on for dear life up here because I think the third time testing the upper resistance is the charm, and we punch through on the GLD. So I'm liking what I'm seeing thus far on the GLD. It's a hold right now. All right, looking at GDXJ. What about the miners? The miners are still equities, folks, and they're going the opposite way. Now, there was a rally on Wall Street today, but what happened? We did not get the kind of punch that we were expecting to the top side. Instead, this market pulls the other way, and that's only because gold was down today. So right now, the miners are being swayed by two forces. It's being swayed by gold having a hard time rallying today, and because it's an equity, and it is what it is. All right, so earnings are an issue. So GDXJ is suffering. Can't hold rallies, getting sold. All right, here's your Dow. Dow is pretty much in the same boat. You had a nice bounce, technical bounce, but all you're doing is respecting this initial range that you broke from. All right, so I don't know. These are watch and see. You know, I might take a little small position in the diamonds, just see what happens. I don't know. Here's the silver, same thing. SLV and silver moving the same way, but I think some a little glimmer of hope could be forthcoming. All right, here's your gold futures again. All right, this is what happened to your gold today. That's why you saw the miners come off, but it still has bullish weekly trend momentum. So there's still hope up here. I think I like gold for this one. I think it wants to push outside, and you see how the Kuma cloud is sloping up. So it should be able to pull that momentum up with it. Momentum is still up. All right, even though it came off somewhat, it's still up. So I think it still has an opportunity to push forward and break out. All right, here's your NEO going to the crypto side. It pulled back also, and it's just trying to look for room to run. I think the trend line right here is upper trend line is definitely in play. All right, I think that's where the market goes to see if try to find some resistance. I think we bounce from here. So I'm watching this one, see what happens. Next is the XRP Ripple. Chart is jacked up, so can't see nothing on that one. Sorry about that. All right, here's the Litecoin. Same thing. See, this is a perfect example of what I was telling you about Bitcoin. Now, this one has been in a sideways situation longer than the Bitcoin has. And look how it's respecting the range, top side, bottom side. It's respecting the range. What do? You're just trading within this wide trading range and doing nothing with overhead resistance. Breakout is imminent, but we just don't know exactly when. We got the time bomb here, but we have nothing. The market is flat. All right, Ethereum. Ethereum, same thing. Respecting this enormous trading range, moving sideways, ticking time bomb. At some point, it's got to give. It's either going to explode higher or fall down lower. All right, same thing with Dash. Ticking time bomb, it's respecting the trading range, trading near the higher of the range, fell back into alignment, overhead resistance. Only time tells if do we break out or do we break down. If we break out, the first target is the trend line resistance, followed by the bottom of the Kumo cloud, which is way up here if it can really get running. But right now, market's flat, no momentum at all. Here's your BCH, your Bitcoin Cash. Similar, same thing, just trading, respecting the range. Are you seeing the same pattern here on these altcoins? They're moving together, folks. All right, they're taking on the same shape and scope as the Dow, S&P, Nasdaq, and Russell. That's what they're doing. They're starting to trend together. 100% correlation right now. The charts are identical. If I took the name away, you wouldn't know what chart you were looking at. They look the same. 100% correlations. Here's your TLT. Now looking at bonds. We got another primary crash alert. The last primary crash alert was here, and we did this. The prior crash alert from this one was here, and we did this. Can't ignore this crash alert on these bonds. I think TBT may get filled tomorrow. We'll see. All right, here's the US dollar index, the one that I told you was going to go par. I told you that years ago. Finally, we hit par. Then we come off of it, threatening to go back and visit it again with the primary rally alert. This is going to be an interesting one to watch. And that's all we got. Thanks for staying the whole time. I know the video went a little bit longer and started a little bit late, but at least we got to it and we was able to knock it out. Hey, man, you guys, please be encouraged. All right. If you don't remember anything else we talk about in these videos, I want you all to be encouraged. I want to help as many people as I can, but you have to help me to help you. I can't make you do anything. You have to want to do it. You have to want to protect yourself. All right. You're not done prepping if you haven't created an income stream for yourself. How you going to eat? How you going to make money if you don't have no job? How you going to sustain yourself with no job? If you lose your job tomorrow, and I'm telling you, they're coming for the jobs. They've already called it. They said get ready for a 30% unemployment rate or greater in the United States within the next 18 months, folks. All right, please stop being scared. Come on over to PulseWaveTrading.com. Open up that free account. Learn what it is we do, and then get yourself started. 69 bucks, man. Boom. 69 bucks, man. The price of a cup of coffee for a month. Every day. A price of a cup of coffee every day for a month. Come on, man. You can do this. You can do it. It's not all that hard. I've already done all the hard work for you. I created the format. All you got to do is learn how to read the reports and follow it. Boom, you're done. All right. And with that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow here live with the pre-market pulse scan. Remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. Love each and every one of you. Be encouraged. And I will see you guys in the AM. Peace, and I'm out.